Robert Boyle. Robert Boyle is largely regarded today as the first modern chemist, and therefore one of the founders of modern chemistry and one of the pioneers of modern experimental scientific method. Known for his law of gases, Boyle was the 17th century pioneer of modern chemistry. Robert Boyle was born January 25, 1627 in Lismore Castle, County Washford, and died December 31st, 1691 in London. He was an Anglo-Irish natural philosopher, and he was best known as a natural philosopher, particularly in the field of chemistry. At age 8, Boyle began his formal education at Eton College. Boyle returned to England in 1644, where he took up residence in his heritage estate of Stalbridge in Dorset. In 1649, he began investigating nature via scientific experimentation, a process that enthralled him. From 1647 until the mid 1650s, Boyle remained in close contact with the group of natural philosophers and gathered around the intellectual Samuel Hartlib. This group, called the Hartlib Circle, included several chemists. In 1654 he was invited to Oxford, and he took up residence at the university from 1656 until 1668. In Oxford he was exposed to the latest developments in natural philosophy and became associated with a group of natural philosophers and physicians, including John Wilkins, Christopher Wren, and John Locke. These individuals, together with a few others, formed the Experimental Philosophy Club, which at time convened in Boyle's lodgings. In 1659, he and Robert Cooke completed the construction of their famous air pipe and used it to discover pneumatics. Their resolute discoveries regarding air pressure and the vacuum appeared in Boyle's first scientific publication. Boyle and Hooke discovered several physical characteristics of air, including its role in combustion, respiration, and the transmission of sound. One of their findings, published in 1662, later became known as Boyle's law. This law expresses the inverse relationship that exists between the pressure and volume of a gas, and it was determined by measuring the volume occupied by a constant quantity of air when compressed by differing weights of mercury. Other natural philosophers, including Henry Power and Richard Tully, concurrently reported similar findings about air. Robert Boyle also sponsored educational and missionary activities and wrote a number of theological treatises. Whereas the religious writings of Boyle's youth were primarily devotional, his mature work focused on the more complex physiological issues of reason, nature, and revolutionary, and particularly on the relationship between the science and religion. Boyle was deeply concerned about the widespread precipitation that atheism were on the rise, and he strove to demonstrate ways in which science and religion were mutually supportive. For Boyle, studying nature as a product of God's handiwork was inherently a religious duty. Boyle was a genial man who achieved both national and international renown during his lifetime. He was offered the presidency of the Royal Society in 1680, but declined. Throughout his adult life, Boyle was sickly, suffering from weak eyes and hand, recurring illnesses, and one or more strokes. He died at age 64 after a short illness.